Alright, this is the last video on converting to vertex form, or alternatively called completing the square. So let's convert the function f of x equals negative 1/2 x squared minus 4x minus 6 to vertex form. Fix that x there. Okay, so go ahead and pause this video and work this through yourself, and then check your answers. Alright, so if you decided just to watch a video, if you worked it yourself, here we go. What's the first step? Well, the first step is to factor out the leading coefficient. That way we can turn this more difficult completing the square problem into a much simpler completing the square problem. So when I factor out the leading coefficient, which is negative 1/2, I get negative 1/2 times the quantity x squared. And if I take a negative 1/2 out of a negative 4, I actually get plus 8x. And you can check that. What's negative 1/2 times 8? Oh, that's negative 4. Good. And if I take negative 1/2 out of negative 6, I get plus 12. And if I need to check that, what's negative 1/2 times 12? It's equal to negative 6. So there I've done my first step. I've factored out the leading term. And now notice that's what is in here is a nice simple quadratic function that's easy to convert to vertex form. And to make it even easier and to make sure that I don't forget about all my terms is I'm going to create my workspace and give myself a little room to work, and then I don't have to worry about forgetting about that negative 1/2 because I've already set up my workspace to include it. So now that I've set it up, I go back to this nice simple completing the square inside the brackets, and I notice I want 8, which is the term multiplied by the x, and I want half of that, which is 4, and then I want to square 4 to give me 16. So inside these brackets, I'm going to take x squared plus 8x plus 16, and of course subtract that right back off, and then add in the 12. Now inside the brackets, these first three terms form a perfect square, and that perfect square is x plus 4 quantity squared, where the 4 came from this number. And the negative 16 and the positive 12 give me a minus 4. So I'm almost done. I've got negative 1/2 times the quantity x plus 4 squared minus 4. And it looks like I've got a redundant line. But you know what? Who cares? It's better to have too much information than too little. Let me just scratch that out, and I'll move down below to write my final line in. So I've got this equation here, and the last step is to multiply that negative 1/2 by each of these terms. So negative 1/2 times the quantity x plus 4 squared, and negative 1/2 times negative 4, which is plus 2. Alright, so let me make a quick note. Hopefully you don't make this error, but some students make this error that when they multiply negative 1/2 times x plus 4, they multiply the negative 1/2 by both of these pieces. But you don't want to do that. You just want the negative 1/2 times this whole squared term. And the other error students make is they forget to multiply the negative 1/2 by that second added term. Negative 1/2 times negative 4 gives me the positive 2. So now I can identify the vertex on this vertex form. And just to remind us, let me write this as a times x minus h squared plus k. Notice this is an x minus h. So that means my vertex must be negative 4 and positive 2.